Good morning, day one. Okay, so I'm saying day one even though right now it's day 5 because I screwed up. I'm going to edit my video right now and somehow lost the first part of my video. I don't know what happened, but when I cut into the next part of the video, you're gonna see me walking because I started out day 1 by taking my dog for a walk. At the beginning of day 1, I hadn't started the tree grows in Brooklyn yet. My goal at that point was to finish some of the books that I was working on, one being Love Beyond Body, Space, and Time, which was an anthology of Indigenous author sci-fi writings. When you see me come into the shot, I will be talking about that, and then I'll move forward. But yes, I was excited, I was ecstatic. The first part of my video was full of a lot of energy, and I don't know what happened to it. So hopefully I can be excited right now, and that suffices. Hey, so this is editing Amy, and I realized that I didn't mention anything about what I was doing. So this is my 12-day Advent Calendar Christmas Carol Challenge, and the first book I picked for this was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. If you didn't get to see what my December TBR plans were, and you're curious as to what this is all about, go ahead and check that video out now. I'm gonna link it up here and link it down below. It's probably a better place to start. And I also didn't mention that I will be unveiling what book number 2 is at the end of this video, because once I finish A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, I'm gonna be moving on to the very next book, and that's where I will unveil book number 2. So stick around so you get a chance to see that.
And what I love about it is that it's a really diverse group of writers, and you're getting to see Indigenous authors do sci-fi, which is really fun. So I am enjoying the anthology, and also while I'm walking, I'm listening to my audiobook, The Witching Hour, which I started back in, I think, September, right? Or October? I started back in October, and one day, someday in the near future, I will finish it. Or the not so near future. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. School is ending soon, which is good. I really want to enjoy the holidays, so I have a lot of things I'd like to do. We still haven't even got our Christmas tree yet, but one thing at a time. First task for today, take Cece for a walk. Enjoy this morning. That's my first task. I'll do that first and then worry about the rest later. So I'm glad you're joining me on my Tree Grows in Brooklyn adventure. Let's see how this goes and how many days it takes me to read it.
This is my pin advent calendar. So my first little Disney pin that I got this morning was Cricky. That's my dog and cat playing. Sorry if you hear a whole bunch of noise in the background. But yeah, Cricky from Mulan. And this is an adorable little pin. So I'm going to put it up on my pin board. There's a room here. We'll put Cricky right here. I have to organize these at some point. But look at little Cricky. Okay, so I'm currently reading Custer Died for Your Sins, and I really like what Deloria says here, which is, civil rights is a function of man's desire for self-respect, not for his desire for equality. The dilemma is not of tolerance or intolerance, but one of respect or contempt. And I really like this because I actually had gone to this diversity seminar at one point this year for a grant that we were working on. And one of the things that one of the speakers said that just really resonated with me. Instead of saying, treat others the way you want to be treated, it was, treat others the way they want to be treated. Because we tend to think that we know what's best for everyone else. You know, the Western culture knows what's good for everybody else and places those kind of standards on all these different peoples from different places with different ideals and different cultures. And the reality is they don't need that. They don't need us to determine what's right for them, what's wrong for them. They need to be treated the way they want to be treated. We have to respect that they know what's best for them and treat them equally in the sense that we can appreciate and respect that they know what's best for them. And so I loved that saying because it's true. We can treat others the way we want to be treated, but then that's placing our own idea of what's important and what's valuable on them when we should try and understand what's important and what's valuable to them. And so Long story short, I just felt like the way he worded this was really important because it's really about respecting the wishes of the people here in the US and recognizing that that's the goal. The goal is for them to be able to be themselves, but to be treated with the same level of respect and have the same rights, the basic human rights that everybody else deserves. All right, off on my tangent. So I've been reading Custer Died for Your Sins, and I can read about 25 pages per day, so I'm working on that right now. I did finish Love Beyond Body, Space, and Time, which is this sci-fi anthology, and I really liked it. You know, a lot of anthologies have some really good stories, some that you don't really care for so much. It's hard to rate anthologies because of that. But I can't say that I disliked any of these stories, which is nice, and some of them I really enjoyed. Okay, so I've just started reading A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I'm in the second chapter, not very far yet, but I can already tell that Francie is a girl after my heart because she just loves the library. It gives her warm fuzzies all over, and she has this idea that she wants to read all the books in the library, and so she's starting in alphabetical order and reading a book a day and not skipping the dry ones, even though they may be boring. And I'm like, geez Louise, this kid is me, because categorizing things and then wanting to do things in a specific way, especially when it comes to reading books and whatnot. So like me. I totally would have been this kid. I absolutely have many times wanted to go to the library and just start reading the very first book and go all the way through. For a while I got into watching a lot of the movies at the library because they had a lot of classics. And that I actually did start at the beginning of the classics in the library and started watching one movie after the next. And even if it was a weird movie, I wasn't interested, I just watched it because I was really into classics for a while. It's so cute seeing myself reflected in this adorable little girl. I mean, I hope that's an adorable trait. Because maybe it's not. Maybe it's just weird and quirky, and I'm okay with that too. Okay, so a bit of a spoiler alert. I've been wanting to do a TBR game for a while now. Based on what Becca in the Books decided to do for hers, her Bookopoly was, she picked a book that she loved to play as a kid. So my favorite book to play was The Game of Life. And when I first started planning this, I didn't realize there were other people doing The Game of Life. You know, I'm still gonna do it because I really was excited about this. I bought my own vintage board, and I say vintage meaning probably like the same age as me, from when I was a child. But I'm gonna make it my own, you know? I'm gonna change the rules, have a lot of unique aspects to it, and I'm actually going to alter the board quite a bit. Well, I don't wanna say alter, but I'm not gonna use just the regular old board. I have a lot of crafting to do this December. So the whole point of telling you this is that not only am I excited about my TBR game, but part of my project in December is to get this ready. Right now I'm just working on making prompts. I'm actually trying to pick prompts that work for the squares. Like, I'm gonna cover these squares and put my new prompts in, but I want the prompts to kind of reflect what was on the original square a little bit. If it was a prompt for a baby girl, then it's a book with a pink cover. Or say, for example, box seats at the World Series, it would be a book that has a sports element to it, or you know, something along those lines. That's kind of how I've been trying to come up with my prompts. So it's taking a little longer because, you know, I'm having to get pretty creative. I'm trying not to duplicate too many either. And soon I'll start crafting on it. And man, I can't wait to unveil this project because I'm so excited about it. So I'm gonna keep working on that, and then I will probably call it a night. Good morning, it is day 2, and I'm feeling a little tired today. Got a little bit of a headache. Just one of those mornings where you wake up and you're like, yeah, I mean, it'll be okay. But, you know, some mornings you just wake up, you're like, doesn't feel so good. So that's kind of how I feel today. But I did read a little bit more of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn last night. You're kind of learning more about Francie's family. And so it talks about her mom, who's a janitress, during the time when having a job as a woman kind of showed that your father was not pulling his weight. Francie's father's a sing waiter. I guess he at some point wanted to be a singer, but it just never worked out that way. He didn't get the right education for it, didn't really know how to go into that. And the reality is that he is an alcoholic, so he spends a lot of his time drinking. And despite all that, and despite the fact that Francie's mom is the one that's the stable one in the family, she's just so attached to her father. She loves her father, he's her favorite. And that's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm gonna start some homework this morning, and then I've got to work. My priority today is gonna be to read Custer Died for Your Sins because I need to have that done. So I'm getting closer to that. And then later on tonight, we're gonna go get a Christmas tree. So hopefully I'm feeling a little more sprightly for that. And right now I'm just gonna drink some coffee and just maybe drown in it because I obviously need it.
Enjoying, I know this is kind of wobbly, but I'm enjoying my eagle view this morning. Using my binoculars to try to get you a better view of the eagles across the street from me. And there is that little eagle we were just looking at. You can see his little white head up there. Advent calendar number 1, the chocolate box. Ooh.
Where'd you get all these chocolates?
Day 2 of the Disney pins.
You used the same wrapping I used.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Oh, I love it.
Feel the Force. This is really cute. I like that. I've never even seen this one before. For Star Wars. Tree's in. Now we gotta put this bad boy up. We've got our cute little vintage tree stand. And some serious muscle. Let's see that serious muscle. Yes, work it. And the tree is up and looking beautiful. It's a really happy, pretty tree, isn't it?
Yeah, nice color.
Hello, it's day 3. I am a little bit further on A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Haven't finished Custer Died for Your Sins, but that will finish today because I have my book club tonight. And I already opened my advent calendars and I got this cute little Hercules Pegasus pin.
Actually, it's big. You're right. It's not a cute, Mom says, it's not a cute little pin. It's a big pin. And this is the one that I got for Mom, or she got from her advent calendar. Hopeless romantic.
I love ramen.
She does love ramen.
So I want to do a quick update on where I'm at in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. First section is marked off as book 1, and that's kind of telling a little bit about Francie and where her life is at the moment. And then I'm into book 2, which is kind of going back into the history of both families, her mother's family and her father's family. So you're learning about the Romleys and you're learning about the Nolans, who the grandparents were, then how many kids they had and how those kids did and what they're doing with their life right now. It's just really, it's a cozy read. It's an easy read. I'm enjoying the characters. It's nice to read this after reading some heavier stories this past month. So even though I know that the themes in this story are really heavy because it's talking a lot about poverty, and there are little hints of other darker themes that, you know, this is a young adult book, so just hints. They don't really go into detail about them. But after reading a lot of the darker stories I read in November, this is actually just kind of a comfortable read. It's an easy, nice, relaxing read. I'm enjoying it a lot. And I think this is a great first book for me for December. So I'm enjoying that, I'm reading it, but now I need to do work. Today is a day where I need to get a lot of work done. So I'm gonna work, I'm gonna finish Custer Died for Your Sins, and then I got a book club tonight. So that's my plans for today. Okay, so I'm feeling quite tired, but I did finish Custer Died for Your Sins, and I'm not quite sure how I want to rate it yet. I'm gonna do my November nonfiction review on this tomorrow morning, so I'll talk more about how I felt about it, and then kind of tonight I'm trying to figure out how I want to rate it. I had an amazing book club discussion tonight. We talked about this book, and it was just a great book club. I haven't had one that was that, where the discussion just was that like continuous, and we had so much to talk about for before COVID, actually, you know, because we've been doing Zoom for a while, and it's always, sometimes it's kind of awkward. Zoom is fantastic, and it's a really nice way to be able to get together with people even though we can't, but there's something you lose in not being able to see people's body language, you know, when you're having a conversation with someone. But this particular meetup today, this event, was fantastic. It was just really nice. I felt really good about that. And then I had a long conversation with my friend Elisa, which was so nice too, because it was good to catch up with her. She's been really busy lately. And so I caught up with her via phone. So it ended up being a really nice evening. So anyways, I'm going to read some more of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn now that everything else is pretty much done for the evening, and go to sleep. And I'll see you tomorrow on day 4. Good morning. It's day 4. Day 4, and I've read a about a quarter of a tree grows in Brooklyn. This morning we got to listen to Little Ray Charles sing in Winter Wonderland and open our pins. If you're not into Disney, I apologize, because we really are. And this time of the year we love to do our pin advent calendars, so I guess skip to the part there's not Disney if you don't like Disney. So the pin I got this morning is this little pin of Miguel from Coco. I'm proud we're family. It's a beautiful pin. I love this pin. And one little tidbit about me, Miguel is my favorite Disney character, I'd say, of all time. He's not necessarily the character I collect the most, but he is probably my absolute favorite character. I just love this kid. I swear this is like my child if I had a child. It would be little Miguel. He's just one of the most endearing characters, and I just love him. So this pin was amazing. Mom's already put hers up. She got this Avengers Captain America pin, which is really cool. She already had the Iron Man one, so then I got her this Captain American one, so they have some pretty cool Avengers pins. So we're looking at some decorations, doing a little bit of decorating. Look how cute! I love
This one hung up too.
Oh yeah, that one. And then we've got this snowman. I feel like I haven't seen most of these before.
I've never seen these two, and you can tell they've
Yeah.
never been hung up because there's no tape on them. Oh, there is.
So my cousin did these. They're so cute. But then look at this guy. He's so cute. I've never seen this before. I don't know where we got these Christmas decorations from. Maybe they were my grandma's.
Because we did inherit some of her stuff.
Well, and another thing, we also just got, well, I got these ornaments from Disney. This one is Jiminy. He's an official conscience. I actually love his little badge, and I've always really liked Jiminy Cricket, so got this cute little ornament. Favorite Disney princess growing up was always Cinderella, so this is where you've got Cinderella and the mice making her dress for her that gets torn apart by her evil sisters. And it's just so cute. Carried in all of our Christmas stuff so we could start decorating. And we might have a problem. We might have a real problem.
Teeny little house.
Hello. So it's been a long but good day. I got a lot accomplished today. So far this evening, I've been doing a bit of work on my November wrap-up because I definitely need to film that as soon as possible. And I have been working on my TBR game. And of course, reading A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I don't want to say I'm going through a reading slump right now, but for the last week, I would say it's been harder for me to consistently read. And I think it's because I read so many books last month. Look who came to visit. Isaac. I'm going to be reading for the rest of this evening. And I need to get this book done. So I'm going to have to finish this by, I think, Monday, because it's due then. It's an ebook copy on Libby. And somebody else wants it. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not as engaged as I want to be, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's just where I'm at right now in my head and the way things are going, or if I'm just struggling to really connect with the characters. So I like them. I like the story. I'm enjoying all the mini stories within a story, because really it's just talking about her life and everyday kind of things. But I haven't quite got to the point where I can't put this down yet. I need to get to day 12. How am I going to do that if I don't read? I'm going to read. I'm going to read. I'm reading now. Okay, I shouldn't be filming. I should be reading, right? And yet I am filming because I'm distracting myself from reading. No, I'm going to read. Okay, bye. Today is day 5, and I'm about 37% through A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I'm going to make a lot of progress today because I want to not only get this all edited and up, I want to be able to finish that book and post it so I can start on book number 2. But for my advent calendars, we got a delicious praline in the chocolate box, and then I got a Bruce, because Bruce is another one of my favorite characters in Disney, and he's the great white shark from Finding Nemo.
I got a heart that says, "You're my hero." I can't think. Oh, is it from those two computer ones? Like, I can't remember. You're my hero.
Come on, clear up. There it is.
You're my hero.
Yeah, so it's kind of a strange pin, but it's part of a set, so she hasn't opened up the rest of the set yet. She's trying to figure out what this one's from.
And I'm not very good at Disney movies. I watch them, but I don't remember them.
What is it from, Mom? What is it from?
I don't know.
And I'm not gonna tell her.
I
until
know.
opens
She
them.
never gives anything away. It's maddening.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a spoiler kind of person.
Darn.
It's a little hard to describe A Tree Grows in Brooklyn because it's full of so many smaller stories that make up her life, that make up Francie's life. There's one section that talks all about the stores that are near where she lives and the details of these stores and why they're important to her and why she loves them so much. And then it talks a lot about her school experience and then where she switches schools because of her school experience and why she's so excited about this change. And then now it's talking about holidays, and her favorite holiday is Election Day, and it's going into the politics of that area. So it's kind of hard to explain because there's not really a solid plot to the story. It's not like there's something in the beginning, middle, and end. It's more like a description of this girl's life in this neighborhood that she lives in during the time of period that she lives in and how all the people around her affect her life and whatnot. So I'm really getting into it more. Maybe last night I just wasn't really feeling it. There's definitely parts that I find more interesting than others. I couldn't ever say that it's not enjoyable. It's just not really plot driven. And so I think that some sections, if you're not quite as interested in that topic, it might not be as exciting, but I'm enjoying learning about Francie Nolan and her life in Brooklyn in the early 1900s, so.
I'm gonna be making some face masks, holiday face masks. So we got this pretty material, and this one's a little more masculine for some of our guy friends. And then I liked this holly. Well, it's not really holly, but it's really pretty. And then love this. Look how shiny that is.
Good morning, it's day 6, and day 6 is gonna be the day that I finish A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I'm about 65% of the way through right now. So see, I made progress. I will get this thing done today and I will get my video up today. So I'm really excited about that. Once I hit the halfway mark, all of a sudden I really became invested in the characters and I had a harder time putting it down. You know, not a lot of the characters in this story are really warm. I mean, I guess Johnny, the dad, is a different situation. He's warm, but he's flawed. Francie, her mom, and a lot of the other people, they've struggled so much that there's a certain hardness you find in the characters. They're not always the most warm. So for me, it made it a little hard to connect at first. But I'm finding now that the story is just moving along really quickly. I'm enjoying hearing about the different things that are happening in her life. I should be able to get through the next part pretty darn quickly. That's my big plan for today. We need to finish decorating our Christmas tree because we've only got the lights on so far, but it's starting to look pretty good. And I have a Zoom game night with friends at like 4.
Advent calendar, even though it's beautiful, it's kind of a small box, and so when you get stuff in there, it's really hard to get out. But we got a little white chocolate heart today, and at some point today I got it. Okay, Pluto is on my day 6.
Mine's Daisy.
What's yours?
I mean, Minnie,
That's Minnie.
is a nut.
Is it a nut?
Acorn.
No, it's just an ornament.
Oh, I thought it was an acorn.
No. Okay, let's see what we got.
Favorite chocolate so far?
That's my favorite one so far of the ones we've tried. It was a white chocolate raspberry.
I need scissors for mine.
You need scissors? Oh, Mom got a mystery pin. I mean, they're all mysteries. We don't know what they are. But hers is an actual, from a mystery box. Mine is not. Look, that's Elsa. The set was called Ink and Paint, I think. And this is Ben and Me, which is about Benjamin Franklin and this, I don't remember who Me is. But this was did in my mom's birth year, 1953. So, and I don't know if I've watched this one before, but we'll have to watch it now,
Were they
especially
kind of
knowing
like
it was her
science
birthday.
ones?
No. Well, I don't know. We'll have to watch it and see. But look at him. He's a cute little Benjamin Franklin. He's got electrocuted by the key.
I don't think Benjamin Franklin ever got electrocuted. He would be dead.
He did. I don't remember what happened.
He probably got shocked.
He got shocked, didn't he?
I would say.
Or at least the string got shocked. I don't remember. What's yours? What'd you get?
Secret, 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 secret. What do we have
What'd she
here?
get? What'd she get?
Oh,
What is it?
We were just talking about Chip. Chip and his mom.
Mrs. Potts.
So is my hero from...
So this is one of the other mother and children series.
Oh.
So I got her the Lady and the Tramp mother and babies, and then this one is Mrs. Potts and Chip.
It's fun to get her the little mom
I
and
do
baby
like the mom and-
series. She does like that kind of
I
stuff.
like that
So
kind of thing.
I like that little set. But I'm going to put my little Ben and Me up. We listened to 12 Days of Christmas by Straight No Chaser. So if you haven't listened to that, you should. It's one of my favorite versions of 12 Days of Christmas, which is important to note because this is a 12 Days of Christmas challenge. So you should go ahead and listen to that. It's fantastic. They did a great job. They're an a cappella group that, I mean, most people have heard them, I hope. They're so good. And the 12 Days of Christmas song is one of their most well-known, one of the most popular.
crazy.
It's really fun. Go ahead and watch it. One thing I've always loved in coming-of-age books, and I don't know if I'll be able to explain this well, but I always love that moment when a child realizes that a human is flawed, or that they understand something better than the adult does, and the adult is telling them what they should know or what is right or how they got something wrong, but the adult actually is wrong. You know, they are actually incorrect in what they're trying to tell this child, and it's because of their own ignorance or their own biases that they kind of force these ideas on the child. And I don't know why I like that so much. I guess because, I mean, I don't like that it happens. I just like that realization. You know, people tend to think children are just these empty vessels that don't have thoughts of their own, and, you know, you're just trying to teach them, but there's so much that kids come up with and realize on their own, and we can gain so much information if we just listen to them. And I always like seeing that realization in a character that is growing. I love dynamic characters, especially young coming of age characters. That development is maybe why I want to be a teacher. I really like seeing children come into their own, and I like seeing them make realizations that are much bigger than what they've just been told by other people. Francie is doing that here in this story. Her teacher's criticizing her writing for so many reasons, but her writing is actually beautiful, and it's real, and it's true, and her teacher just wants her to make floppy little fairy tales that have no basis in reality. And she's telling Francie that her stories are ugly and she uses the word sordid. And Francie's talking about her family, so she's furious at this teacher. I want Francie to stick to her guns because what she has is real art, and what this teacher's trying to tell her is wrong. Okay, and the teacher actually says, when you get home, burn these in the stove. Apply the match to them yourself, and as the flames rise, keep saying, I am burning ugliness. I am burning ugliness. She's talking about Francie's writings and the play that she wrote for the school. What a horrible teacher. Oh, I just, ah! All right, so it is Sunday night, and I have finally finished A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. And I will say, I really enjoyed it. I think I would give it about a 4.25. I'm between that and a 4.0, but I did like it a little better than a 4.0. I didn't think it was going to be that way when I started out. It started out kind of slow for me, and I wasn't as attached to the characters in the beginning, but this is definitely the kind of book that grows on you quite a bit, and the characters really grow on you, and there were a lot of parts where I got really choked up, so it left an impression. As I had said before, this is a young adult coming-of-age story, and that's really what it is. You're learning about young Francie Nolan from the time that she is 11 through the time that she's just about 17. I think it's before she turned 17. You really grow to love this girl and are excited to see where she's gonna go. It's an older book, but it's really well loved because it was really hard to get at the library. It's constantly being checked out, and then I got an ebook of it, which also has a waiting list. So it is a popular book, and it is really highly rated. So now it's time to find out what my second book for the month is. I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this. My poor little advent calendar's just been sitting up on the ledge over there saying, when are you gonna open me? When are you gonna open up number 2? Day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas is Two Turtle Doves. So the first book it could possibly be is Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. And this is a young adult mystery. And basically it sounds like the main character's aunt comes from a small town and went missing. Like I don't know if she was murdered or what have you, but she went missing. So the main character ends up having to move to the small town to live with her grandmother, and strange things start happening. I don't know exactly what, but I will find out if I pick this book. It looks like a decent sized book, like I could get through this pretty quickly. Mysteries and thrillers are pretty easy to get through, so this might be a fun one to pick up. Okay, so the next book is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And this goes for turtle, as in the two turtle doves. I don't really know what this is about. It says it's a young adult contemporary fiction. The girl's name is Azza, and she has a really close-knit friend named Daisy. I think they're trying to do detective work to try to find a billionaire's lost son, because if they do, I'm guessing there's a $100,000 reward. That's my guess. I don't really know anything about this. I know that John Green is very popular. He writes a lot of books that are really well loved, and I've never read anything by him. I've only seen the movie Fault in the Stars. So I would be interested in reading this. I'm curious as to what it's all about. Is this the one that I'm gonna pick? I don't know. And apparently this is the Battle of the Young Adult books, because the next one that fulfills the Dove prompt is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Well, this is a young adult fantasy, and it sounds like this is about, it sounds like it's a hate to love trope. There is a witch, and there is a church-going, I don't know what he is, but he belongs to the church, and maybe he kills witches? It kind of says it, because it says something like, he will not allow witches to live, sort of thing. And then there's this witch that apparently the two of them end up married somehow. I imagine it's hate to love. It sounds really intriguing. I would love to read some fantasy, but that one I don't have a book for, as you can see, because it is so hard to get a hold of. So I actually only have an audiobook of that one, and that would be 14 hours of listening time, and you know how great I am at listening to audiobooks, so I would have to make a concerted effort to be listening to that audiobook. And it's 500 and something pages, so it's not a short one. Battle of the Young Adult. Let's see now which one I end up with. So scared. I don't know why. It's just paper. Okay. Oh. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. All right, this wasn't previously on my Goodreads TBR, but I am looking forward to reading this, and I have an actual book of it, so that's nice. I don't have to worry about listening to it on audiobook and trying to make it through 14 hours. And it is 286 pages, yes! Okay, it won't take me 6 days to get through this one. All right, so I'll be reading Turtles All the Way Down. I'm really excited, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7. Day 7 when I start my next reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button and subscribe now. And let me know if you've read Turtles All the Way Down. Let me know if you've read the other two and if I am going to be horribly disappointed with this choice. Hopefully not. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be fine. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.